sustainability is no longer a nice to have, it is a must. Also for the brewing industry. And yes, I know it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not easy. It means reducing consumption, reducing emissions, sourcing green energy, optimizing processes, and sometimes even rethinking the entire operation. And the question remains, will all that really bring us down to net zero? Krones has been working actively on this topic for over 25 years. And just now found the last piece of the puzzle. So let's take you back 25 years in less than 25 minutes. That's our challenge now. And then back into the future. So I'm glad to have our expert here who has been in this industry for almost 30 years. So he has been there from the very beginning when Krones and Steinecker started to deal with sustainability. He's our expert for technology and engineering at Steinecker. Please give him a warm welcome, Peter Gattermeyer. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, Desiree, for your introduction.
So let's find out what's in it for you and what all this has to do with an electric kettle. I'm really curious, Peter.
Let's see in the end. Thank you also for guiding me through our session here, because as a technician sometimes I make a technical deep dive, but for this we have time after our session or on the Steinecker corner. Here, right in the Krones Hall.
Okay, let's keep it short and simple then, shall we? Okay, good. So for those who have not actively followed the entire past 25 years and all the steps along the way, what have been the major milestones?
Yeah, you mentioned already that with Steinecker and with Krones together developed since more than 25 years sustainable innovations, and we won a lot of awards and we're still winning them. We hold many patents, so we are happy and glad. But what really pushes us, that the customer needs and necessities, yeah, that they can fulfill with our technique their targets. Get rid of fossil energy, yeah, avoid political energy prices, fulfill their sustainable goals. That is what our products stand for. And yeah, we have many of them, but today you told me keep it short. Yeah, we focus just on the latest and most important innovations. And we crown our sustainable journey with Brewnomic and the biomass conversion Phoenix. Yeah.
All right, then let's dive straight in.
Yep. So in the year 2010, we introduced a second energy balance in the brew house and reusing surplus heat energy from the wort chilling process to heating the mash tun. So mash tun is not anymore supplied by steam from boiler house. Yeah, only the wort boiling is supplied. So we can save a lot of thermal energy, also electrical energy in terms of cooling, because a part we do already in the cooling process with this energy balance. And what is also very important, we have only this one consumer, so we don't have peak loads to the boiler house. So the peak loads are reduced, therefore we can reduce also the capacity of the boiler. And the same idea we had with Equitherm, we sprayed out for the whole brewery with our Krones network of experts from Flensburg, Neutraubling, Freising and Rosenheim. We developed a holistic concept for the whole brewery. And meaning, really, this concept is able to produce self-sufficient beer. Not only produce, also filling.
Sounds really good, but now we see 2010, 2016, that's a couple of years ago, of course. Is this an established technology standard by now?
Yeah, no, the Equitherm is well established. Around about 100 million hectoliters of beer are produced yearly with Equitherm, and each brew house we send to our customer is Equitherm or at least Equitherm ready. meaning in a second step it could be easily retrofitted from a steam supply to a low temperature hot water supply.
Okay, and I love the graphics here on the right side. It looks like a closed loop to me, which is usually good. I have learned that by now. But for the non-engineers here, could you walk us through the process quickly?
Yeah. So one of the basic idea is to use the energetic potential of the biomass, which we get during the brewing process. So from malt, spent grain, malt dust, and so on. We convert this biomass to biogas, and then with biogas we feed a combined heat and power plant. And with this machine we produce enough heat energy and electrical energy to supply the complete brewery.
And you said that breweries can become self-sufficient in terms of energy, and this is exactly how it's done?
Yeah, it's not so easy as it's shown here. Yeah. But it's like in a private life, yeah. If you want to heat your house with a heat pump, you should first reduce the heat demand of the house. So insulate the walls, invest maybe in high insulated windows, and then you can choose a smaller heat pump, and this covers the whole demand. And the same idea we use. So we invented a bundle of measures to reduce the demand of heat, but also of electrical energy. So we drew really to very low figures. And because we have so many possibilities to achieve these very low figures, we can also create a development plan for existing breweries to bring them to Brewnomic standard. Yeah. And the second core idea is we introduced a central energy storage tank in the brewery, and this storage tank divides or separates the demand, the consumers, from the supply. So all load peaks which the consumers create, yeah, we can completely buffer by this central storage tank. So therefore, the boiler house, yeah, can be designed small. It just have to cover the average consumption feeding into this buffer. And so the boiler is reduced, or we have now also the possibility, and this is much more important, to introduce very efficient machines like combined heat and power plant and like heat pumps. So they're running then continuously efficient, and that's the way to net zero.
Okay, to me it makes perfect sense, in theory at least. So why haven't all breweries made that switch yet?
Yeah, as I explained.
$1 billion question.
It is, in the first view, it's a big move to reach these low numbers. But we, as I mentioned, we have enough measures, and we accompany our customers on their sustainable journey. So each time, if they have to substitute an old existing process equipment, utility equipment, we use one of these Brewnomic measures to insert in the brewery, and then the customer saves energy because energy consumption is reduced, and saves money. And with the saved money, they're able to invest still in the next step of optimization.
Yeah, now we're talking, and now I want some real-world examples, success stories, maybe to convince those who still have doubts. You have some for us?
Yes, we have a real latest one for a greenfield project. So the brewer family Meisel decided to go with Brewnomic for their new brewing project called Bayreuther Brauhaus. And it's being built now in Bayreuth. So it was an example for a greenfield project, but we have many examples also for retrofitting existing breweries. And I'd like to name two examples, Löbau Brewery and also Ussersbach Brewery. These both breweries are our Brewnomic flagship breweries, because we implemented all these Brewnomic measures, and in Ussersbach we have now also installed a pilot plant for biomass conversion. So this is the missing link, yeah, which we now not only installed, commissioned, tested successfully. So now the circularity of brewing is fulfilled. Yeah.
Okay, can you show us how this works in practice?
Yes, we have all Brewnomic measures. Here we use really biomass, the whole biomass, to send and to this Phoenix biomass conversion and produce biogas.
But biogas as itself is not a brand new technology, you probably agree, but there must be something to it that you use it differently. Is that true?
Yes, you're completely right. Biogas plants are well known also in breweries, and they're used, but they just feed it with wastewater, which we do also here. But if you want to send solid organic stuff to a biogas plant, and this contains also protein, this will lead to very long exposure time, up to 1 month for digestion. So we developed a process where we can reduce this exposure time to around about 5 days. Yeah? So then the footprint of such a plant is reduced tremendous to really, then it makes really sense. Yeah? But how we achieve this? We have to get rid of these proteins because they inhibit the methanobacteria. So we need a kind of a pre-treatment, and we do this in 2 models. We separate the protein from the organic stuff, and at the same time we create very valuable byproducts like plant-based protein and like fertilizer for the farming. So, and after the second module, after this pre-treatment, we receive effluent organic stuff which can easily mix with wastewater and sent to the biogas plant, so to the anaerobic part of a normal water treatment plant. And then received biogas to create or to produce energy in the combined heat and power plant. So now, we, as I mentioned, we have closed the cycle. We are quite proud. It's running, so we can offer to our customers a system. And as an option, out from the biogas plant, we can treat the effluent and produce process water. And this process water helps us to reduce the fresh water demand in the brewery.
Very good point, because energy consumption, of course, is one thing, but I think especially for breweries, water is the issue, right? So how do you tackle this?
Yeah, one thing is the hydro circle. My colleague Michael Russ will explain later in the day. Yeah, but we at Steinecker invented also, we call it intelligent water recovery. It's an easy task using the push-out water from the lines in the cold block of the brewery, just collect it in a buffer tank, and then reuse it for meshing in the brew house, for sparging, but also for pre-flushing in the CIP. So without any treatment, and this leads and reduce the already good number for freshwater demand down to below 3 hectoliter per hectoliter sales beer. And if we introduce and use a hydro circle, then we see already 1.7 hectoliter freshwater demand per hectoliter final beer.
Wait. For, let's say, 100 liters of beer, you only need 170 liters of water. In other words, only an additional 70 liters for both production and filling process.
Yeah. That's
incredible, isn't it?
Fantastic numbers and realistic. And if you compare to 10 years ago, it's 2 to 3 times less than in the old days. Yeah? So not only energy, we shrink down to a minimum demand, or the media consumption like water.
That is really amazing. Okay, I still have one question. I have no idea what all this has to do with this electric kettle that you brought. And I know that autumn is around the corner, and so is flu season, and warm beer is supposed to be good against the flu. Still, I'm feeling fine and prefer my beer cold, so please tell us, what is it about?
Me either. I don't want to heat our fresh, delicious beer with a kettle. No. If you remember, I mentioned Brewnomic and the effect of Brewnomic on the installed heating capacity. Yeah, and it's just an example which we achieved really in the Löbau brewery. Here we tuned the brewery really, and we find here installed boiler capacity in the end 90% less than similar sized breweries. So only 400 watt, and this kettle stands for 400 watt installed heating capacity, is sufficient to produce 100-liter beer. And so these fantastic numbers are realistic, thanks to 10 years Brewnomic experience. Yeah. So this helps really saving money, saving energy costs, and at the same time you just have to invest in really small boilers and not in big plants. Yeah.
That is amazing, also in terms of footprint, of course. Great. I love success stories, don't you? So what have you brought to drinktec? I know by now where your corner is over there next to the reception desk.
Yeah.
What can we see there? What can we experience? What can we learn?
For sure, we can see the biomass conversion in a hologram. We can explain in more detail. We have also our latest innovation. It's a high temperature heat pump. And VapoCool, an energy recovery system for our CO2 recovery. And I can invite you on very sustainable produced alcohol-free beer, very delicious.
I tried it yesterday, it's really good. So thank you so much. It was really clear to me, so you explained very well also for non-engineers, so thank you so much for that. Yeah. And if you have more questions, you know where to find him, and maybe a delicious beer on top. So it's time to take action, to shape the future together, and it's easier than you might think. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Peter. Your applause, and let's shape the future together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks.